is James Arnold Taylor, voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Welcome to a more civilized podcast. This is the podcast you're looking for. You may not go about your business. Stay here, listen, and then move along.
Oh yeah. Hello there, lady listeners. This is your favorite tall, dark, handsome man in black, Darth Vader. This podcast's lack of sexiness disturbs me. It's time to bring some attractiveness to my new empire.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Oh my goodness. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. Oh my goodness. That was excellent. Oh my heavens. Well, first off, as always, I'm Kyler.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ross.
And with us today, we have three very special, very sexy guests. To my left is my wife, Christina.
Hello.
To her left, and to Chris's right,
Is my wife, Jessica.
Hi.
and then returning to the show, to Ross's right and Chris's left,
This is really important.
is Ross's wife, Carrie.
Hello.
Oh man, you longtime listeners might recall her hilarity from our prequel trivia episode where she made me just laugh till I was crying most times she opened her mouth. Anyway, Ross, you've got some news for us, I think.
Yes, we have several pieces of news going on this week. First of all, we have an exciting bit of news for us. We have Christopher Sean has followed us on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
That was
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the voice of Kaz on Resistance.
Yep, Kazuda Ziono from Resistance, the voice actor. He followed us on Twitter, which is pretty cool.
Hello, Christopher. I always love meeting a new Christopher.
Oh, that's true. He's in your Christopher Club
He's
now.
part of the club, that's right.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. So we were on Twitter one day, and I was following one of the other Star Wars podcasts, and they had already responded to him. And he just had a tweet out and was like, "Hey, I need some new Star Wars things to listen to. Bonus points if there's Resistance on it." And I was like, "Hey,
Yeah, we had just
Fair enough.
done, I think, a Resistance.
You guys
review.
weren't even the first ones to post it, though.
yeah."
I went through his response. One of the very first people to respond to that. I apologize, listener, that I didn't catch your
Really?
handle, though. But yeah, it was More Civilized Podcast. And I was just like, thank you, whoever you
Nice.
are.
Wait, someone else.
I
posted for
didn't
us?
see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one either.
You didn't?
That's
Yeah, One of
fantastic.
the very first responses was someone that I don't know.
That's great. I didn't see that because I saw Ross's and I
Yeah.
was like, oh shoot,
I'll look that
I'm
up
going to get on
between
there and plug
episodes,
this,
when
you
we
know?
record the next one, I will give you proper credit if I can
Yeah.
even find that in the slew of responses to that.
Yeah, there were a lot. They piled on pretty quick.
Yeah, I did.
But
Well, whoever you were, you know who you are, and we appreciate it. So thank you.
Super. So again, yeah, super exciting for us. So next, we have some set photos from episode 9 that have been released. Now, are these releases or leaks? I didn't find this bit.
I
of news.
think they were leak Reese's.
Ah,
Like we're going to leak some of these photos to drum up some hubbub about it.
yes. So they do show a snowy scene for episode 9.
Yeah, like snow foresty kind of thing.
Yeah.
But not like a
I
pine
was gonna
forest.
say, not like in
Not
Force
like a pine
Awakens.
forest with Force Awakens. It looked more deciduous.
It's interesting because with the set leaks they have released so far, there's kind of a variety of
Yeah, it
locations.
looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of different planets.
Because you
which is
had
pretty cool.
sort of a temperate, sort of hilly grassland was
I have
one.
seen some of those.
There was somewhere the Falcon was sitting amongst a kind of jungle-ish
And
type
I've
trees.
heard rumors of like a desert planet somewhere as well, and then we've got something cold, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, and it's not Hoth either. It's not like total ice
Yeah,
tundra. It's like snowy in a forest. So
Yeah.
we've got some good variety, I think, to look forward to in episode 9, which will be kind of nice. It's always fun to see more of the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, and they are shooting the works on this one, apparently. And lastly, but not least, is something that we could hopefully get to sponsor us one day, would be awesome, is Loot Crate.
That would be so awesome.
has a Battle of Endor theme to their boxes I guess it's this month? Or next month? No, it would be next
This month being February
Right.
2019.
Correct. So if you don't know what Loot Crate is, you just it's a subscription-based trinket box they send you every month. I mean, you
Like
pay...
a bear? Trinket. Oh, Critical Role reference. Boom.
Thank you, Kyler. Wait, so you log on to lootcrate.com, you pay a monthly subscription, and they send you a box of random items every month. Sometimes they can be pretty cool. other times, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never actually had one yet myself.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some unboxings of them
Yeah.
and stuff.
This
Yeah,
one being
sometimes
Star
there's
Wars,
some fun
though,
little
piqued
stuff.
my interest a little more than
It's true.
usual.
And that's the news.
Well, there we go. Today's episode is going to be a whole lot of fun. The reason we brought our wives in here is to help us better objectify the men of Star Wars. So we are going to talk about...
Just going right in.
Hey,
No.
I don't mess around. It is what it is. We are going to talk about the hot hunks of Star Wars, okay, today. So we've got lots of different categories. We're going to play some fun games today. We have different categories like classically handsome or bad boy or best eyes or most chiseled jawline, things like that, right? And so we each have to pick a male character from Star Wars that we think best fits that category. Here are the official rules, right? Variety of categories, which I went over, and we're going to select a winner for each one of them, right? Each one of us picks our winner for that category. You can only pick one person for each category. Each person can only be used once. In the event of multiple actors having portrayed the same character, like young Lando, old Lando,
Or significant age gaps.
or exactly,
and
like
old Luke.
young Luke, old Luke, exactly, things
Okay.
like that.
I fit within those bounds.
Yes,
I thought I was going rogue.
Then you're okay. Then that's okay. Then you can repeat, but you have to specify which version you're using in that category, right? So like,
As nice as young Luke was, I really like old Luke better for this particular category.
Exactly. So and then once old Luke has been put down, old Luke is done for you.
Not to imply
right?
that you're old, Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Young at heart. And
We'll
then
just say it, you're old. But
you can choose any male character from any Star Wars film or TV show. So no books, no comics, but on screen somewhere.
current top level canon.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna do a couple of these like categories, and then we're gonna break it up with some bed, wed, behead that I've prepared. So bed, wed, behead, for those of you who don't know it by its classier, more civilized name, it's the marry, kill, sleep with game.
Yeah.
But we just classed it up by calling it bed, wed, behead.
Okay.
So there we go. So you'll be given 3 choices. You must marry one of them, you must bed one of them, you must behead one of them. Yeah.
I'm a little terrified, honestly.
No, you should be. Well, some of them I made the choices hard. So let's kick it off with classically handsome. We'll just, I'll go last because I do a lot of talking. How's that? So, Christina, you want to go ahead and give us your classically handsome choice?
Sure. I picked Qui-Gon Jinn, played by Liam Neeson.
Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
Not a bad choice. Yeah.
I originally had somebody else, but then Chris kept sending us more categories, so multiple times I had to
I kept being
readjust
like,
my
what?
list.
We are not objectifying these men enough. Come on. Where's the best body category?
All right, I chose Poe.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first. It's just very hard to understand you with all the...
Poe Dameron.
Yeah,
Poe
Poe
Dameron.
I think his face is just classical though. Like
It
if
is.
you look
No.
at like classical art and things, like his face is
It's real
classical.
symmetrical.
She's being very literal with the classical. Yeah.
I just want to get this out of the way right now. I wanted to put Poe Dameron everywhere. He
did.
is so
He really did.
sexy.
See, that's so funny. He is not my type at
Oh,
all.
no. Poe Dameron is the reason this episode exists for me. I was like I want to talk about how good looking Poe Dameron is. I know how we could do that. So every
Is there a way I could
episode,
do
I
that
was
that would be slightly less weirding it up constantly?
exactly. He is so
my
attractive.
reasonable approach
So
when I'm talking about Oscar
okay,
Isaac.
sorry.
All right, for my classically handsome, I went with Finn.
Use the Force.
Yep, he's an attractive guy. He's got perfect skin. He's got a great smile. He's pretty classically handsome.
Carrie disagrees.
You went with Finn, huh?
I did go with Finn.
I'd be lying if I said I picked Han Solo because I really just picked Harrison Ford.
I know.
So Han Solo. That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Young.
Wait.
young.
Oh, I was gonna say we've got to
New
specify.
OG.
OG. Yeah, OT
Yeah.
Han Solo. Okay, fair enough. Ross, go ahead.
I actually went with Count Dooku.
Oh no, my friend. This is a mistake. This is madness.
Ooh,
That's a
that's
good
an interesting
one.
choice.
I totally forgot about him even being in Star Wars.
Christopher, that's a good choice because Christopher Lee, he's like that dapper, sexy Englishman. He's
I
got
would
that
have put him
going
in one
for
of our
him.
later categories. I
yeah.
remember that, but
I am with Carrie on this one, mostly because I got to the end and I'd already put Oscar Isaac somewhere else. I was like, who else could be? And I had him in somewhere else, so I went with OT Han Solo, Harrison Ford. The dude, you can't deny the sex appeal. You know, he is classically handsome, and classically handsome in like that kind of like roguish sense, like because his teeth aren't like perfect. They're kind of that roguish smile, like it's a little offset. He's got that scar on his chin, like he's just knocked around enough in life to like kind of make him a little scruffy, you know? And it works. It works. It really does. So the next category is the boy next door, right?
I chose.
Captain Panaka.
Do not agree with the Jedi on this.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I know what he looks like.
Okay.
I just didn't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looks so cute. Like, he's like so adorable.
I can see that. He was one I considered as well for that category.
Captain Panaka would be the head of the Queen's head of the Queen's guards.
Yeah, the
in
Royal
episode
Guard of
1.
Naboo. Yeah.
The
I mean,
actual
there's
second
Google.
black man in the Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true.
My boy next door is young Uncle Owen.
All right, shut up. I'll take this one.
From episodes 2
Oh!
and 3. Yeah.
That's like a B-track
I
choice,
was
man. A B-side. That was
on
good.
that one.
Yeah.
So now, this is Joel Edgerton playing him. If
Yeah,
you know
he
him,
is,
like,
yeah.
he's a pickup warrior. Watch him, like, ooh, he's
Yeah.
an attractive guy. And
a
but yeah,
good choice.
he feels very boy next door in this. You know, he's living on the farm. He's an attractive guy.
I'm considering changing mine as we go.
No changing. Your answers have been locked in.
For my
to
boy
do that
next
all the
door, I picked Ezra Bridger.
I wanted it to be a surprise.
I almost picked Ezra Bridger.
Yeah, Ezra Bridger's
for those of you who
Rebels.
aren't as familiar with the TV shows, yeah, he is the main character of Rebels.
So now, is this boy Ezra, or is this a little bit more grown-up Ezra from later
Like
seasons?
season 1 Ezra or like season 4 Ezra?
Personality-wise, I would have said younger one, but like
More boyish.
maybe looks-wise, it would be older Ezra. You know?
Really? I would have flip-flopped that.
Right?
Rock?
For this one, actually, I went with Finn. Because
Yeah,
I feel like...
almost did.
Yeah.
I almost did, but I really wanted Uncle Owen.
I feel like I could see myself living next to Finn. Like, well, to Finn, not to the actor.
I think Christina and I have the same one on this one. OT Luke Skywalker.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
The original
I
farm
also
boy.
considered
I
him.
mean,
Yes.
that was the first thing that popped into my head, and I couldn't think of a good reason not to put him in there. That's, I mean, you just think about like him standing over the binary suns and stuff. He's all cute and innocent and naive.
So yes, mine also was Mark Hamill, young Luke Skywalker.
So the next category is hottie because they're funny. This is somebody who normally you wouldn't be like, oh, they're unattractive. This is who you would, but then it's like, oh, but they're actually pretty funny, and that kind of kicks them up a little bit.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
So I had a little trouble with this category when I first considered it because I was like, there aren't a lot of like blatantly funny characters in Star Wars, and a lot of them are the type that's like they're not intentionally funny. And so I went back and forth, and I was like, and then even then, taking half of these really funny characters, they're all ridiculously attractive men.
Yeah,
And
they don't
so-
really cast like super ugly
So of
people.
course I had to go with Jar Jar. No, I'm joking, of course. I'm joking, of course. No, I went with Yoda. Yoda is hilarious. I would have put him for just straight up funniest person in the Star Wars galaxy. But because he's also not particularly physically attractive, I put him here in Hottie Because They're Funny instead.
I went with Poe Dameron on this one.
Poe is pretty funny.
Yeah.
He's one of the few characters in the shows that is deliberately funny.
Ross is
Yeah.
just flabbergasted at his wife's choice.
No, I was so happy because I also chose Poe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, I find Poe, he's okay, but it is just I like his snark. He's got a fun snark.
Yeah.
So,
I had somebody else originally, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, I need to switch this around. I put Tobias Beckett, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Everyone will betray you, and you will never be disappointed.
Because you look at Woody Harrelson, he's not like conventionally attractive.
He's a goofy looking guy.
He's a little bit weird looking.
yeah.
He's a great actor, and the character of Tobias Beckett is pretty funny.
Yeah,
He's
he
got
is,
a lot
that's
of
fair.
snappy lines. He's got really high sarcasm, which I love.
I too originally had somebody else in this category, but I changed it last minute with all of the extra categories thrown at me. So I went with Finn.
Ooh.
I don't particularly find him super attractive. He's not ugly by any means. He's just not my type. But his awkwardness made him more endearing to me.
I also chose Finn.
Oh.
I find
wow.
him super attractive, but of all the people here, I was kind of like, he's the most funny, I feel like.
Yeah.
I almost went with Yoda, but then I felt like I was copying Chris, and I didn't want to do that.
So, unconventionally handsome, okay? There it is.
Darth Vader.
Oh. With or without the mask?
He may have the mask, but like something kind of just shines through of like that's
it's that voice.
You got
right?
sex appeal
Maybe
of the
that,
suit.
He
I'm
wasn't
with ya.
gonna make it on sexiest voice, so this was the next best category I could put.
Darth Vader and his younger selves. did not make it on my list at all.
Wow.
So for this one, I put Kanan Jarrus.
I am Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight.
Handsome. Yeah.
Okay.
This is another one from Rebels.
It hasn't been released yet, which is why Christina didn't want me to put it on here. She felt I was cheating. I went with...
cheating.
We don't even know the character's name. The Mandalorian. Pedro Pascal.
Oh, Pedro
If you
Pascal,
look at him, I'm going, I can see how some people would find you attractive. You look a little weird to me, but like there is something going on there. So I was like, okay, he's been officially announced as a Star Wars character, so I'm like, okay, I'm still technically within the rules, even though it hasn't come out yet. He is! Is he not the Mandalorian? Okay. Anyway, so that's my thing. Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian.
I still think you're cheating.
For those of you who haven't been following the news, this is Oberyn from Game of Thrones, if you watch that.
My unconventionally handsome is Adam Driver as Kylo Ren.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
He's one of those people.
be excited.
Yeah, you can be excited. It makes you the same way we talk about. He's one of those people like Adrian Brody whose facial features individually are kind of
It is literally exactly how she
But when
describes
they're
it.
all together, they're kind of attractive.
Like, he is a
He's
good-looking
a
guy.
very
Like, wow.
good-looking man, but if you took just his lips or just his ears or just his eyes, they're weird.
See, well, for me, it's the nose. I can't.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, my unconventionally handsome, I went with Jango Fett. And now the
go.
reason for this is because I think Temuera Morrison is his name. He's actually just a reasonably normally attractive guy.
Yeah.
But the thing about Jango versus just Temuera Morrison is that they put all these scars on his face to show that he's bad. Like, he doesn't have those in real life. And there's something about those scars that just adds up to like, dang, that is an attractive guy. Before I was like, yeah, he's attractive, sure. And so I was like, yeah, that's unconventional. It's like the scars like add to his attractiveness, and I think that's pretty impressive. Cool.
Okay, so we're doing brain over brawn, okay? This is the hottie because they're smart.
So I had a little bit of trouble with this one because there were several good characters. I went with Yoda for this one.
Okay, that's
Good
fair.
choice.
That's
Good choice.
Yeah.
I went deep because this is one of the categories that Chris threw at us last night.
This was me going like, men are valuable for their brains too, not just their looks.
Sure.
Like, we shouldn't be completely sexist here.
That's fair. I picked Cad Bane.
Jedi mind tricks don't work on me.
Ah, yeah.
Bounty hunter.
You know,
he is a step ahead of the game the entire time.
I didn't even think of him. I would
This
probably
is a
revise my
dude.
list right now.
This
if
is
I
a
thought
dude
that.
who literally, when the Emperor, well, he's not the Emperor yet, but when Chancellor Palpatine is like, I need you to go. Yeah, Sidious is like, I need you to. He knows he's dealing with a Sith Lord. He knows that for a fact. And he's like, I need you to go capture a Jedi, or I need you to hold the Senate hostage, or I need you to do this. He's like,
I need you to
okay,
break into the most secure room of the Jedi Temple.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
And he's like, okay, cool. That's gonna be triple my price though. So unless you're gonna do that too, like totally calm, flat. Like he is so smart. And then when you look at,
I'll
his
tell you what my
plans-
choice was, but yeah, I'm
man.
realizing my official choice. My official choice would be Cad Bane.
Yeah.
And again, for those that don't know, this is from Clone Wars. He's a bounty hunter. You see several times.
Yeah, he's a blue-skinned Duros. He's got red eyes. He's got a sweet
Fantastic
cowboy
hat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's
awesome.
And a great
Amazing
duster.
hat.
Like,
Yep.
it's basically Malcolm Reynolds if he were an alien.
Yes.
And evil.
And evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went with Taslan Brant, played by Eamon Elliott. He appears on screen for maybe 15 seconds in episode 7.
He's when
Yes.
they're discussing the how do we raid this third Death Star.
Uh-huh.
It's during that scene.
Yes.
He's there.
Wait, which one is he?
We had to look up his name. She's like, wait, there's this actor that
There's
was
this
in this that's
actor.
really cute. What's
He was
his name?
in this other show that I really loved him in.
So the character's name is Taslan
Brant. Taslan
but
Brant.
the character's name is...
The actor's
or
name
the
is
actor's name.
Eamon Elliott.
He's a British guy.
He's a British guy. I just really wanted him on the list somewhere.
Alright, I put Cassian.
Your father would have been proud.
Cassian Andor, yeah.
He's
Diego
so
Luna.
funny, you know?
He's spicy.
He's super
I was originally considering Coyote Mundi just because I wanted to make a joke about his large head.
Prank.
But no, I went with R2-D2.
Ooh,
Chris! Uses male pronouns as far as we know. Like,
Yes.
we never actually hear him use any male pronouns to refer to himself, but everyone
Yes.
else does. So technically he falls in the male category,
Yep.
and he's smart. Like, he's
Yeah,
probably the
true.
smartest
Chris,
droid
that's a
we ever
great
see on screen.
choice.
Thank you.
Okay, so has everybody done Brain Over Brawn?
I totally want to change mine to either Yoda or R2, but as they didn't occur to me, I went with the pilot.
You need a pilot. You need a pilot.
The pilot. Carrie, thank you. Yes.
pilot.
My wife
Brody.
My wife wanted to put him on her list, but I refused to look up his name for her, and she
And
didn't
I
know
couldn't
it.
just
Brody
put the pilot.
I told you, just put the pilot. People will know what you
People will
mean
know exactly
because
what you
everybody
mean.
knows.
No, I mean, like, I was trying to Google it, and I couldn't figure it out because
I
I'm
was
like,
laughing
the
because
pilot.
Stephen posted that video in the Facebook group that it talked about Rogue One, or maybe it was a different video I watched about comparing Rogue One and The Force Awakens in the storytelling. It was really neat. I'll share it in the Facebook group. But I laughed because the guy making the video referred to the pilot over and over and over again and never once used his name. He just called him the pilot the whole time. And I was like, because he doesn't freaking have a name.
So for those of you that are wondering where this joke comes from, go back and listen to our Rogue One episode.
Yes,
and
episode
also
8.
Chris's Nerf nugget about the absolutely probably true history of Rogue One.
Yes.
Then you'll fully understand the joke. It's a good one. It's true. I can't argue with it. Okay, so here is our first bed, wed, behead break.
Don't make me
So,
silence.
your first group that you have to pick between: bed, wed, or behead. Mace Windu, Ki-Adi Mundi, Yoda.
That's easy. Bed Mace Windu, wed Yoda, behead Coyote.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
That,
what I think.
that's the same order I was picking too.
My
Yeah.
first thought was bye. Yeah.
You gotta
Because you know Mace Windu is
going
going to get
Samuel
freaky.
Jackson.
You know, you got to take it.
But I mean, if I could pick anyone, like I
Yoda's going to cook for you.
I already used Yoda for the funniness, but I almost picked him for some of the more long-term categories.
Okay, here's the next one. Here we go. You'll notice these are all themed here.
Yes,
so that
I've
was
got
our
that.
Jedi Masters. Here we go. Jango Fett, Darth Tyrannus, also known as Count Dooku, Chancellor Palpatine.
That's easy too for me, but
I was say behead Palpatine.
Yes, I would marry Django.
I would too because dude's a great father. Like he's
Yeah.
got he's got a great job,
Yeah,
long-term
that's exactly
stability.
what I was
like
thinking.
By the way, we don't have to have consensus, guys. Like you can mix it up if you want.
But I mean,
But it kind of works.
yeah.
and then we've already discussed Christopher Lee's attractiveness.
I am so excited for this next category,
Okay.
you guys. Sebulba,
Oh no.
Jar Jar Binks,
Uh-huh.
and Poggle the Lesser.
Okay, so Sebulba
I know
for
who that
my
is.
wife. You know who Sebulba is? Sweet.
Do you know Poggle the Lesser? He's got the
is-
face tentacles and
he's
the
got-
wings and the
yeah.
little thing, and he holds out the Death Star.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's from episode 2.
I'll pull it up
Poggle
for
the
her
Lesser
while
is
you guys
the ostensible, the leader, as far as we see leadership in
Yeah,
the
the
movies.
public leader.
He is the public leader of the Geonosians.
Who do you
Okay.
marry? Who do you bed? Who do you
I'm
behead?
gonna marry Sebulba because dude's really successful.
Successful racer. Yeah.
You'll
I
have
agree.
a, yeah,
He's
you'll have a
probably
cushy
philandering
life.
on the side all the time, but that's fine.
You can too.
See,
Well,
and I'd
true,
only
yeah.
marry him knowing that he's gonna die in a pod race soon.
And then you
Like-
get all his
get his
money.
money.
Yeah.
See, I would vote for marrying Poggle because he's, got some career stability that he's not gonna die in.
true.
To be a better provider.
Yeah. I feel morally compelled to behead Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. I have my thoughts.
See, and
as
if you marry
all the
Poggle, you
same-
don't have to worry about intercourse because he's a bug. Where Sebulba clearly shows that kind of interest in humanoids. So,
That's fair. He does.
okay, that is done. Moving on, we're back to our categories, our regularly scheduled program. All right, bad boy. I picked for my bad boy Kylo Ren, right? If you're looking to make your parents angry, who's the most whiny, goth, rebellious guy? It's Kylo Ren.
I also picked Kylo Ren because, as was spoken earlier, he is just hot as sin.
I did not pick him
That's
specifically because I find him a bad boy in a way that makes him unattractive. Like, the character-wise, like, he's too whiny, he's too
He is
angsty.
too whiny, but I was thinking, if I'm a teenager, I'm looking
Yeah,
to
that's
rebel
fair.
against
I
my
can see
parents,
that.
he'd be a good choice.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah.
You were so right.
I picked original trilogy Han Solo.
Okay.
Because, he's kind of skeezy.
Sorry, sweetheart. I haven't got time for anything else.
A little bit.
Okay, I chose Anakin at the level where he's leaving the Jedi Masters and everything. Because he's literally rebelling. Like, he is angsty. He's so angsty.
So are you picking him before or after he murders all the younglings?
Probably right after.
You don't get much better than that.
Right after, and he's like all broody and dark, and he's got
With
like
his
the
yellow
eyeliner
eyes,
and
yeah.
everything.
There you
I
go.
mean, if you're gonna like try and piss off your parents, like like dating somebody that
butchering
just
children
butchered a
is
bunch
probably
of
a pretty good
children.
choice.
That's the one to bring.
I do wonder what Padme's parents thought.
No kidding.
Yeah.
For my bad boy, I picked Tobias Beckett from Solo.
Good choice.
Yeah, because he has that, he's very flippant, he's a bad boy. Even though he's in this adorable, stable relationship that ends way too soon and should have been part of the movie, he still seems like a bad boy, even in the middle of that. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That's true.
Plus, it's Woody Harrelson. I mean, pick Tobias or Woody.
Either way.
Bad boy.
And then Carrie went with me, right?
Oh, that's right.
Kylo Ren.
That's right, Kylo. I picked Cassian for this one.
Okay.
Because I feel like, murdering a dude, right? The first thing you see of him labels you as...
But he did it so attractively.
Murdered children.
True. It's a little worse. Yeah.
And actually, honestly, had I thought of that, I might have gone with that. But no, Cassian seemed like baddish boy that...
So this next category, all right. Just put on your dreamy soap opera lenses, all right? Best eyes.
I went with Armitage Hux.
Good.
Brendan Gleeson's...
His eyes, they are very
Harry Potter character.
pretty blue.
They are. Now that
They
you mention
are.
it, he's got some-
Luke at the beginning, so when he's the farm boy
OG
and everything
Luke.
like
OG
that.
Luke.
Right? Even though he's not my type, his eyes are still adorable.
I'm interested to see. We've got blue eyes. Blue eyes for Christina's choice. Blue eyes for Jess's choice.
Brown eyes.
Oh!
We've got O.T. Lando.
And who might you be?
I didn't have to look up anyone for this. I just started thinking, and then I just landed on Lando. And I was just like, oh yeah, Billy D. Williams got some great eyes. What I thought of was, I was like, you can cover up the lower half of his face, but his eyes can, they are
expressive.
Seducing you.
Yeah, they
are
sure are.
smiling at you. They are angry at you and intense. They are very
His eyes
expressive,
say
very
it
nice
all.
eyes.
Yeah.
Best eyes definitely goes to Chirrut.
Oh.
Oh.
I almost did
The
that
white
as a
eyes.
joke. I almost did that as a joke.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, okay, it's funny, but also
We're talking
it's
about
true.
attractiveness, not functionality.
He's got very, very pale blue eyes.
I'm surprised that none of you thought of mine that I'm going with because you can see the whole galaxy in them.
Was it Greedo?
It was Greedo!
Good choice!
Yeah, I wish you guys could have seen how excited Carrie got over that.
Because I kind of did the same thing. I was looking at pictures, just, the Star Wars cast, and eventually Greedo comes up, and I was like, oh.
I actually, for us to work off of, I just made from memory a list of every guy in Star Wars I could remember. I didn't even get Greedo on there now that I think about it. That's disappointing.
Because, if you're rating Disney princesses on who has the best eyes, they usually go by biggest size eyes.
Yeah.
Greedo would win that.
Yes,
for
he would.
Sure.
I almost picked Admiral Akbar.
He did. He almost picked him.
I picked General Antok Merrick, Blue Leader from Rogue One. I was just looking at different people's eyes, and I'm like, I want to put him somewhere. And so then I looked up the actor, and he has piercing blue eyes, stare through your soul eye, just really, really pretty.
Is he the one with the mustache?
He is the one with the mustache.
I love him.
Yeah. So he's got great blue eyes, but they're not light blue. They're a really intense. I don't know. They're really cool. Go look them up. They're really pretty. Next category, best smile. This is one of those ones for me where I was like, oh, right out of the gate, I know who's going on here. So.
Okay, I did Han Solo.
Yes. Me too. It doesn't matter which Han Solo. If it's Harrison Ford, you cannot beat that guy.
I've got a challenger.
Bring it.
I have a challenger as well.
It's this was again like Lando. It's the first thing that popped into my head. It was even quicker. It's just like, you cannot beat Harrison Ford's just cocky little.
Thank you.
Any stormtrooper helmet from The Force Awakens. You just see those and you see the smile.
You have ruined it for me, Carrie.
That's just to hide that they're all crying on the inside.
Because previously, all the stormtrooper helmets were like the frown, an upside down V, and then that movie.
Well, they're happy to be a part of the First Order.
It was terrible.
First Order.
I have never noticed that before.
Now you'll never unsee it.
I almost went with Han Solo on this one, but I wanted him somewhere else on the list, so I moved him out. For this one, I went with Bib Fortuna.
They were no wonder.
Oh, gross! Ross! Now, I'll defend your answer, sir.
My defense of the answer is there were some of these that I was having a harder time with than others, and I was just like, you know what, this will be funny.
Fair enough. Here's my contender, Chris. O.T. Lando Calrissian, Billy D. Williams. Anytime he's looking at Leia or in the before Endor or whatever, and he kind of turns his head to the side and he smiles, Those pearly whites.
have a great
He's
smile.
got
He
a
does.
great smile.
Original Lando.
Yeah, Billy D. Williams when he's younger.
Yeah, I did
Just-
consider him, but I still feel like
He's so great.
Han's little half
No.
smile still.
Yeah.
Han's half smile is good, but I think quality. I really do think that Billy D. Williams would win.
I almost went with Billy D. Williams
Good
Lando,
wife.
but instead I went with Donald Glover.
So the next category is most chiseled jawline.
Despite the temptation to go with some sarcastic, to go with a droid or something, because, literally potentially chiseled. Now, I had to go with Poe Dameron.
This is the one that I also put Poe Dameron in.
I went with Kanan for being an animated feature. He has a great
He
jawline.
really does.
I
That's a
did
good
almost
choice.
go with Clone Wars Anakin.
That's another good choice.
I mean, everybody in Clone Wars has a chiseled
Yeah,
jawline.
that's why I
Even
didn't
the
in
women.
end.
Speaking of Clone Wars, I asked James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, about some of his picks. Most chiseled jawline was one of them. His answer? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What a surprise.
I went with Captain Cassian Andor, Diego Luna.
Okay, I did Hux.
Next, best body.
Okay, I got to advocate for mine a little bit because you don't see as much of his body, but
It's a problem
just
with
the
a lot of
way
these guys.
he uses it, he seems very athletic. I would anticipate that he would look great under those Jedi robes Mace Windu.
I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair choice.
I cannot debate that.
That's no argument here. Because he is jacked underneath that. Just, his abs probably have also abs on them.
And see, I don't know how. I mean, I feel like we all are going to be separate, but I thought this was the obvious choice of Ben Swallow.
Ben Swallow, guys! This is the whole reason I have this category. For me, it's just the sheer unexpectedness of it. And I no offense to Adam Driver, he's a freaking Marine.
Yeah.
But he's walking around in this uniform, and he does not look like he's that swole. He looks pretty skinny. It's something about the way that's tailored, something, I don't know what it is, but then he takes it off, and it's like, where were you keeping that? Is your shirt a TARDIS? Like, there's no room in there for that.
Honestly, watching
Where were you
the movie,
hiding that brick wall?
Yeah, watching the movie the first time, I was like, oh, they got him a body double. And I looked, it's him. It's
I
all
honestly
him.
thought it was photoshopped, and then when it's not, it's like, wow, all right, dude.
And it's like my second favorite part of The Last Jedi is Ben Swallow.
I just couldn't get past the mom pants.
Yeah, those are weird. I'll grant you that.
It just looks so weird. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
But yeah, Ben Swallow.
Yep.
So
top.
my
Absolutely.
choice was Jango Fett, Tamara Morrison.
That's good.
With a
choice.
body so fine, they literally wanted to make millions and millions of copies of it and populate the galaxy with it. You can tell that dude is so jacked he can't have his arms sit straight. Just, rippling biceps all the way down, I'm sure. It's just...
I almost went with Django. I was super close. I actually had him written down on the paper, and then I erased it. And I, like Carrie, went with somebody in robes that you never actually see their body. Donnie Yen.
You almost shot me.
Yeah, he's 55, but he's got like a 12-pack.
Yeah.
He is jacked.
All right, so my choice was a little bit different than the reasons you guys chose. You guys all went for six packs and stuff, which I'm sure he does. But I went with Darth Maul. But the reason I went with Darth Maul is because he is so freaking flexible.
Fear is my ally.
Holy cow!
He can bend like right over in the middle.
He's flexible and muscly, which is, like you said, that guy can't put his arms down.
Yeah, I would say
Darth
as far
Maul
as
can.
we see in any medium in Star Wars, Darth Maul is probably the most swole man in the galaxy.
Okay, it is time for round 2 of Bed, Wed, Behead.
Sweet.
This is from the original trilogy. You'll notice the last one is from the prequels.
Yes.
Yeah. So the theme for this first one is heroes. All right. Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian. Who you gonna kill? Who you gonna bed? Who you gonna wed?
So, bed,
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
That's kind of obvious.
Wed, I would go with Luke.
I would as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with Luke, but I think I would bed Lando.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Lando for bed. I figure I'm gonna
fun.
behead Han and spare him the pain of the death at the hands of his own son. I love the amount of groans I got with that. I hope you're groaning.
All
too,
right,
listeners.
our next category is administrators. Admiral Akbar, Admiral Ozzel, and Grand Moff Tarkin. All right.
Probably bed Tarkin.
Whoa! I did not see that coming.
And I would marry Akbar.
I would marry Akbar.
Wow.
I would marry Akbar.
I'd probably marry Akbar, yeah. I can bed Ozzel in order to rid the world of Tarkin.
Okay, this one is going to challenge you guys. Bib Fortuna, Jabba's advisor.
Yeah.
A Gamorrean.
Right.
The pig guards, the
pig
green-skinned
guards.
pig guards in Jabba's palace.
Ew.
Or a Wampa, the ice monster that tries to eat Luke.
I'm gonna behead the Gamorrean. Like, that's my line there.
I will marry the Wampa so that he kills me sooner.
I would marry Bib
If I
Fortuna.
married the Wampa, would I just die immediately?
Yeah.
Because I'd be cool with that, with those choices.
Bib Fortuna, because I feel like, at least there's a chance at some decent intellectual conversation here. We could grow to love each other.
Okay, back to our categories, our regularly scheduled program. Next one is best sense of humor.
I actually went with episode 3 Obi-Wan. Because I
Good
did
choice.
like his snark.
He was my second place for that because I wanted Yoda, but it was...
I felt my list was too white, so I went with FN2187 Boyega, because he does have a pretty good sense of humor.
I went with Jectano Porkins, because with a name like that, you would have to have a sense of
he
humor.
developed a really great sense
Yes,
of humor.
well, and the actor's last name is Hootkins.
I went with Rio. I don't know how to say his name.
Oh, Rio Durant.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Best Father. Oh, I'm so excited. I did young Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor.
I did not, because I think he's an awful father. I think he tried.
Your children's decisions don't always reflect your quality of your parent.
Even young Obi-Wan described himself as more of a brother than a father.
Yes, but also I was thinking, who would I want to father my children?
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
In a situation where I and young Obi-Wan are married, I think he would be a good choice for a father. I mean, he's clearly loving and caring. I think he'd be a good choice.
When I rewatched episode 2 recently and we were talking about that, that was one of the things that struck me as it was like, Obi-Wan's a great guy. I feel like that's one of the failings of the Jedi Order is you've got all these single men who have never really had fathers trying to raise children, and it's just not the most fatherly environment. But I agree that he's a great guy, and absent the Jedi Order, he probably would have been a good father.
Yeah.
So.
I went with an obvious choice, Bail Organa.
My wife and I will take the girl. She will be loved with us.
That was mine as well.
So
I thought no one would think of him.
He knowingly took in
the
most evil guy in the galaxy's kid to raise.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really close between him and Owen Lars.
Who's in that situation where it's like, well, this man just slaughtered a bunch of children, the entire Jedi Order. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And then also that it's pretty apparent that he did a good job.
Yeah.
Based on what we're told in Last Jedi, if we're adjusting that for her talking about her mother to Bail Organa's wife, apparently he was mostly a single father most of that time. And he's clearly she is 18 years old, and he's sitting here who do I need to go get Obi-Wan? I will send my daughter. I not only trust her to do that, but I am comfortable that she can handle whatever she gets into it.
Yeah.
So he's willing to step back and let his daughter do what she...
I put Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
He's just so
wise.
adorable
He'd be a
with
smart dad.
Anakin.
I almost went with Bail Organa because of all the reasons stated. But he's the good dad when things are going well. He has the means to provide for her and all that jazz. But when pushed to the limit, when have to make the ultimate sacrifice, I pick Galen Erso.
Love you, Stardust.
Love you too, Papa.
Because he did have to go to extreme lengths to be protective.
His wife
while
was an
being a
awful
good
mother,
father.
but yeah, Galen was a good father.
I liked Galen.
Yeah.
Galen was a good guy in a bad situation.
And literally the only character development his daughter gets is, my father loved me, so hey.
Next one, and this is where I put Bail. Best husband. Again, I'm thinking, who would I want for my husband to help me raise my kid? Oh, Bail, of course. He's a great dad. And I think he would be very loving and tender.
I went with Kanan Jarrus. I
Good
think he
choice.
would make a wonderful husband, had he not died.
I put young Owen.
I also put Owen, but I was unclear on whether or not it would be old or young. Because even when he's old and kind of grouchy, he's nice to his wife.
He's pretty solid,
It's true.
So I could go with either Owen in that case.
He's actually a very typical working farmer type.
Yeah, for best husband, I put Cassian Andor, because based on what I've seen of him, he will apparently just abandon his entire personality just to make me happy.
I put Qui-Gon in this category.
Okay.
From what you see of him, he's very considerate and just has a lot of the qualities I think make a good spouse.
The next one is sexiest voice. This is also one where James Arnold Taylor chimed in with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's hilarious because I picked James Arnold Taylor.
Hey! There it is!
So did we?
Yeah! That's a good choice, though. It's solid.
There was never any question for me.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Star Wars voice. No, James Arnold Taylor.
Yeah, it's James Arnold Taylor all the way.
That's a good choice.
I went with Cassian because I just really love the accent.
Oh, yeah,
That accent. And for me, mine is the dulcimer tones of Jabba the Hutt.
Solo thought you were Chaya.
That's right.
I went with Alexander Callis. My first thought was Obi-Wan Kenobi, voiced by James Arnold Taylor. But then I was like, I've already got Obi-Wan's elsewhere. Yeah. Okay, next category, best hair. This is the third and final James Arnold Taylor contribution. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Which he's not wrong.
It's true. I like the variety we get.
Yeah, it's true.
Best hair, I chose old Luke. Because he has like those amazingly gray locks with the...
So I decided to go with Qui-Gon because I had to use Ben Swallow with best body, because he's my runner-up with those feathery perfect hair. Like, that's the reason he lost to Rey at the end of Force Awakens, is he's so busy using the Force to keep his hair perfect even under that helmet. Like, seriously, when he takes that thing off and it's just like...
pretty amazing.
Whoosh,
Yeah.
and it's beautifully feathered and it's like, how? How that
No
helmet should
helmet
not
hair at
have...
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so you'll notice in Last Jedi, they went to lengths to be like, okay, let's not make his hair so absurdly feathery. And it's like, and now he's doing.
Yeah, that's true. In Force Awakens, the first time he takes his helmet off, it's pretty glorious.
Yeah, it is.
I went with Solo version of Han.
It is amazing. I want to get my hands lost in that hair.
I went with a lesser known Pharaoh Argaius. He's the Senate guard that betrays the Jedi when they're on that mission. But it's just this it goes up and comes back straight off.
Yeah, good choice, Rob. That's a good deep one.
Uses some product.
This is where I put Hawk Callis.
Season 4 of
Yes.
Rebels. We're moving on to another round of Bedwed Behead. This is our sequel trilogy.
I feel like they're getting worse.
Kylo Ren, also known as Ben Swallow, Hux, or Snoke.
With Head Snoke, that's a given.
Of the three of those, I feel like the greatest chance at redemption and long-term viability as a partner is probably Ben Swallow. Hux isn't intelligent enough to be redeemed. And Kylo's already conflicted. I kind of don't want them to redeem him, but at least he's got the best chance. I would wed Kylo, bed Hux, because Domhnall Gleeson's the fox, and Snoke.
Wed Kylo and wed Hux because I find Hux more attractive. So
I want Kylo. As long as I get Kylo, I'm fine. Let's see. Bed, Hux, wed Kylo, and kill Snoke.
Yeah, fair enough. Hard choice, but on the other end of things here, Poe Dameron, Finn, Cassian Andor.
Well, I've already said I'm going to marry Cassian. He's my husband choice.
No, I'm marrying.
Who do you want to kill?
None of them. Okay, who was the first one on the list?
Poe Dameron.
He's the one I killed.
Poe was my kill too.
What? Dude, no! How can you do that?
Me. I don't. If I'm gotta kill someone, this guy's already earned it.
Once again, as long as I give Finn to myself, I'm good.
And Finn's a darling. Finn's a darling.
Finn would be my behead. He's attractive, but he's the one that I'm least attractive to.
For me, it would be Finn, just because of the three, he's the least. I would have a sweet, steamy one-night stand with Cassian Andor. And Poe Dameron for life, because if I could lock that down, I would.
So who's the third person on the list?
Cassian Andor.
Okay, he's the one. What was the one we're going for?
Marriage.
Marriage, okay.
Final sequel.
Final. Unkar Plutt. Okay, the big blobfish from episode 7. Saw Gerrera. Krennic. Orson Krennic.
Orson Krennic is the bad guy in Rogue One.
One night stand with Saw. Have to marry Krennic, and then just get rid of
blobfish. Unkar Plutt.
I would also probably kill Unkar Plutt, mainly because I know Ben Mendelsohn is going to get himself killed eventually. But no, I think I would marry Saw. Yeah. Granted, Ben Mendelsohn is going to get himself killed anyway, but so is Saw. Yeah. And I'd rather be with the guy who's at least ostensibly on the right side.
I had the same logic on that, of one's kind of a bad guy, one's kind of a weird good guy.
Yeah. I'd rather be with an at least somewhat competent semi-good guy than an utterly inept bad guy.
Alrighty. Back to our regularly scheduled program. With the category of Best Dressed.
Yes, so did anyone not choose Donald Glando? Because if so, you're cray-cray.
I did not.
I did not.
I chose Billy D. Lando.
In my defense, this is before when I thought I was cheating by choosing the different ages. So I used Lando somewhere else.
I went with Dryden Voss.
between Dryden Voss and who I went with was Hux.
Okay, next is Best Wingman. So this one has two subcategories, Best Wingman. There's the figurative Best Wingman, the romantic Best Wingman. Who's gonna help you get hooked up with somebody, right? Who's gonna be there, he's got your back. Then there's the actual, literal Best Wingman. Who do you want next to you in a dogfight? Who's got your back? Who's gonna blow those TIE fighters away before they can shoot you?
For the best romantic wingman, I picked Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, I see your strategy. Yeah,
I get whatever
it.
double date you go on, you're gonna end
You're
up
gonna
with the best
end up with both.
You're gonna
Good choice, Carrie. We thought similarly, but not. Yeah, that was good.
For literal, I picked Wedge.
Yes.
Yep.
I picked Wedge.
Okay. Did anyone not pick Wedge? Okay. I followed a similar train of thought to Carrie, right? Pick somebody bad that makes me look good, right? So I went with prequel trilogy Anakin Skywalker. Hey.
I actually went with Alan Tudyk's K2SO. I mean, come on, it's Alan Tudyk.
You split a fine difference between the two strategies because, yeah, I mean, he's kind of fun to be around, but he'll probably say something awkward.
My wingman is Obi-Wan, but it's Ghost Obi-Wan. Okay?
Oh.
So he's gonna like do intel, he's gonna like let me know what you're talking about.
I love it.
No,
he's gonna feed you the right answers. Yeah.
To help me out. Like
Gotcha.
He'd also be a good, like, card playing buddy.
Because I'm gonna look so good.
Very good logic.
That's a good train of thought, Jess. I approve. Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that you all missed the obvious choice. The galaxy's best wingman, the only man who is known to reach across the galaxy and connect two people together.
Oh, God.
It is Snoke. Snoke is the best wingman out there. Rey hated Kylo Ren before Snoke
Look
came
at that
along.
matchmaking son of a gun.
She did, and then by the end of that, they weren't, he flubbed it up. That's on Kylo.
Next, going off of Papa Snoke there, most seductive villain.
This one for me, so I went with Grand Admiral Thrawn.
So did I!
Yeah!
Very classy, seductive villain.
One of the things that also attracts me to Thrawn is that he's always very respectful. In both sets of books, Thrawn in the original is not just some other random, Imperial goon person. So there's this moment where they're trying to tractor beam a freighter or something, and the rebels use this certain trick. They explode one ship and there's another ship inside. So when the thing explodes, the tractor beam can't lock onto anything, and the ship that actually is leaving gets away. Well, this happens to Thrawn. He walks down into the sensor pit and everyone's going, oh
crap, yeah.
But then he talks to the guy. He's like, okay, so what happened? And the guy's like, well, this and this and this happened. So I tried to do this with the tractor beam to try and spread out the stuff, but it didn't work, and there just wasn't anything I could do. He goes,
There wasn't enough time,
yeah, that's an excellent plan.
That is exactly what you should have
And
done.
I think he even promotes the guy or something. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, and now what you're going to do is you're going to spend all your free time
Figuring out how you would
figuring out
not
how to do this.
fall to this.
And then,
He's like, that was the best possible solution you could have come up with on the
Yeah.
board. He's like, that was good.
and then in the original Thrawn series was the first 3 books, and then there were 2 that were set years later. The rebels blow up a ship, but this time, when that happens, the
have a
kid
system in
figured
place.
it out.
They know
yeah.
what to do, yeah.
So, but yeah, no, Thrawn's on.
I went with Dryden Voss, Paul Bettany.
I did too.
Nice. Dude, he is a good-looking son of a gun. He dresses snappy. He's got charisma coming out his ears. The dude is seductive.
I went with Newt Gunray.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, this is another 2-parter. This is the best cuddle, but we have 2 choices. One where the person that you pick is the little spoon. Who are you going to cuddle? Yep. And then one where the person is the big spoon. Who is going to cuddle you? My big spoon. Who is going to cuddle me? Chewbacca.
Of course it's Chewbacca.
I had Chewbacca, but then I changed it. I got to thinking, oh, he's cuddling me, but then hair,
little
the
spoon.
hair
Yeah.
in my mouth. So I actually went with Snap Wexley, played by Greg Grunberg.
Yes, I am just going with, I'm assuming that Rio knows what he's talking about.
So my little spoon, I went with Chirrut Imwe, Donnie Yen. He's only 5'8", which is only a little bit taller than Christina, and Christina's a pretty good snuggle.
Shorter than my wife.
I went with Wicket.
I went Lando.
None of y'all know who I picked. I went with Salacious Crumb. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Salacious Big Frog is the Kowakian monkey lizard who is being little spooned by Jabba the Hutt. Now, see, Jabba is living a life of decadence. He's on top of it all, and this is like full-on hedonism bot stuff. And Jabba, for some reason, has chosen to just perpetually spoon this little creature. There's got to be something great going on there. I mean, I'm assuming that Jabba knows what he's about.
All right, just full-on objectification. Who do you want to just mug down with? Just throw him up against the wall and have your way with him.
Cassian Andor, hello. Diego Luna, hottie hot hot.
I went Kylo. Actually, like, I had never considered him as, like, make-out material. He's now at the top of the list.
Steamy. I chose Halden. He's gregarious. I always liked Halden Ehrenreich. Well, before he ever showed up in Star Wars stuff.
I had the hardest time putting someone in this category, so I went with Kit Fisto.
Oh, I did not pick Kit Fisto. No. I did pick Nine Numb, Lando's co-pilot in Return of the Jedi.
I went with FN1824. Also known as Daniel Craig's cameo. Yeah, the Daniel Craig Stormtrooper. He can have his way with me. Well, man, it is time for a break before we go into our final category, guys. Okay, this is Young Solo, Alden Ehrenreich, Tobias Beckett, or Lando, Young Lando, all from...
Kill Tobias. You're not going to do well if you're married to him, so I just nix him at the beginning.
Okay.
One night stand with Lando. Marry.
Yeah.
That's what my order would have been as well.
I agree.
Han Solo was not a very good husband. Things started getting rough, and he left.
Well, to be fair, I'm not sure Leia was a great wife.
Well, that's fair. But remember, though, if you are the one marrying Han Solo, the odds of your children being Force-sensitive are pretty low, so there's not going to be any children falling to the dark side.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Chewbacca, Rio Durant, Dryden Voss.
I would marry Rio.
I'd marry Chewie.
Yeah. I mean, he does seem like a really great life partner there. Yeah. I think I'd marry Chewie.
Yeah, I'd marry Chewie.
And man.
I'd have a one-night stand with Dryden.
Yeah, why not?
I think I'd actually agree with Chris. I'm with Chris on these.
Marry Chewie, one-nighted up with Dryden.
Yeah.
Dr. Dryden really is.
This one is Rogue One themed. Baze Malbus, K2SO, and Pilot, Bodhi Rowe.
I'd marry K2SO. And I would do the one-night stand with Baze, and I don't know who this other person is that you're talking about.
The next category is Silver Fox. Who's that handsome old man?
Mace Windu.
I chose Chancellor Valorum.
I went with Moff Tarkin.
I went with Orson Krennic.
Now, this is where I wanted to put Qui-Gon, but I went with Alec Guinness.
Okay, coolest friend.
I went with Mace Windu.
Yeah.
If I could guarantee that he would be my friend and not backstab, I went with Tobias Beckett.
I went with Empire Strikes Back Luke.
I went with Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson.
I went with Chewbacca.
I went with Yoda.
Okay. Soulmate.
I went with Luke Skywalker, episodes 5 and 6.
I went with Obi-Wan. I was thinking, actually, original trilogy Obi-Wan when I put it down, but kind of all of it.
Kind of picked Grand Moff Tarkin, of course.
Will Huff Tarkin, that is correct. He's so great.
I went with Obi-Wan.
Young Han is mine.
Alden Han, because we get to see him be more sketchy than we ever get to see him be in any of the later stuff.
Yeah.
Had to have DJ on here because I love Benicio del Toro's DJ from The Last Jedi so very much.
Now this is the coup de grace, the final, the cherry on top of our episode today. Who would be the best first date? You have to not only tell us who the person is that you've selected, but also what it is you're going to do on your first date.
My thoughts fell on Jack Porkins.
Can I just say how shocked I am that he has appeared not once but twice this episode?
I wanted so badly to find
That's
a spot for
amazing.
Porkins, but...
That is simply amazing to me.
Actually, I guess we haven't introduced Porkins. Probably most people won't know. Porkins is one of the TIE Fighter...
He's Red 6.
X-Wing pilots, yeah.
Who...
but no, so Porkins is one of the ones he's too focused on something and everyone's like, pull up, and he's like, no, I'm alright, and he gets blown up by a TIE Fighter. So the reason why I'd want to go out with him is because we'd be probably flying in outer space, which would be freaking awesome.
That's legit.
And there would be snacks.
No, Ross, you gotta tell me what you're doing on your date.
He did.
So he's literally just like.
But where specifically are you from?
Yeah.
You got a whole galaxy here.
For me, it doesn't really matter. I just like space in general.
It's not what you're doing; it's who you're with.
In this case, it would be more what we're doing and what we're eating.
Oh, I see. So you're shallow. You're only going on a date with him because he has a cool ride.
And
he's got good food. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
said, and you call me heartless. Toying with a man's emotions, Ross.
A free meal is a lot different than genocide.
Hey, how serious is it going to be on a first date?
That's up to you, I guess.
Exactly.
You know.
I chose, I'm going to butcher his name, Trute?
Oh, yeah, Trute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
First date.
No, like I got really excited.
I was also super excited that she chose this because I wanted to choose True just so that I could talk about how much I love blind dates.
So, first off, he's just so freaking upbeat. It doesn't matter if like it rains or what happens on this date. He is going to think it's just the greatest, you know? And I've had a lot of really bad first dates where it gets like depressing towards the end, you know? It would not happen. That does wherever like the Force tells him to. So we would just go. But things would either work out or not work out, but it would be fine and it would be great and it would be awesome because it's with him.
A Force-prompted date.
Yes.
Yeah.
That actually sounds really cool.
If this date goes well, I'm pretty sure the guy knows how to use his hands.
That's the kind of objectivity I wanted this episode to bring.
Tyler, I believe we skipped you.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Oh, I want to just add some more to Jess's date.
No.
So I'm sitting there thinking, what would be a fun idea? Like maybe go shooting or something like that. He's a good shot, we know. He never misses. So, and I could totally see him like being like, oh, you don't know how to use the light bow? Here, let me hold you. Like puts his arms around you, you know. Like, I could totally see him like working some of those moves.
I mean, he's pretty smooth.
My choice is Hayden Christensen Anakin.
Whoa. What?
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Okay, listen to me. So, Hayden Christensen is, I believe, the only man we have ever seen go on a date in the Star Wars universe. He goes out and has a picnic. He rides some really weird little cow creatures.
Cows,
Tick cows. I like that, yeah. He falls off one and pretends to be dead. They roll around laughing. And then they go back and have a nice fancy dinner. Now, that should not have worked. Like, really. It was all awful from start to finish. He was awful from start to finish. And yet somehow, Padme ended up falling. That date must have been amazing. Like, I cannot see how, like, apparently he just dates really well because literally everything about him was screaming, don't touch this girl, get away.
Well, they get married a couple days later.
Yeah, so that must have been one heck of a date.
So you're saying you want Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker, to inexplicably and completely win you over.
Why else am I dating? I mean, come on. And for our date, we are going to go to the beach and suntan on the sand.
Oh, man. Okay, you may, listener, have noticed a distinct lack of Poe Dameron and Oscar Isaac on my list. Let me tell you where I wanted to put Poe Dameron. Classically handsome. Boy next door. Hottie because they're funny. Brain over brawn. Best eyes. Best smile. Most chiseled jawline. Best body. Best sense of humor. Best husband. Sexiest voice. Best hair. Not really best dressed, best wingman, literally and probably romantically, let's be real. If he were a villain, he would definitely be the most seductive. Best cuddle, big or little spoon, either way I'm good. Who do you want to mug down with? Oh. Put me in a dark corner, alright? He can do anything he'd like. When he gets older, he will definitely be a silver fox. He definitely is the coolest friend. Soulmate, I could also see that happening. So I'm going, how in the world do I put any of this? You know, so I'm like, okay, I can't put him in like 15 categories. So I'm like, if I'm going to put him in just one, best date.
So this is really why Kyler introduced that rule, is so that he wouldn't just put Poe Dameron everywhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it really would be like a Poe Dameron, you know, sweeping everything here. So, the dude is dreamy. His eyes, you could just splash around in there for a while. He's got thick, luscious hair. Oh man, that smile just wins you right over. So here's how I imagine it, right? Like I'm waiting at my house, you know, I've been taking a couple hours to get dressed.
Already you thought way too much about this.
I have thought a lot about Oscar Isaac in the past week or so. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just the first
So he'd, there'd be like the doorbell ringing or whatever. We'd get out there. There's his nice speeder, topless, of course. He definitely does like the.
Him, I was like...
No, if he shows up topless, I'm not complaining. We're still going. But yeah, he'd take me somewhere nice, but not like too nice. We'd probably be on like Chandrila or Hosnian Prime or like maybe Coruscant, but not like the skeezy parts that Anakin goes to, like somewhere nice, but not too nice. Like he's kind of down to earth, Yeah, open top speeder, the night air, kind of, blowing his hair, and I would just be affixed, I'd be melting already. After, during dinner, he's a good conversationalist. You just know. Everything he says would be interesting. It would. Think of the stories he could tell.
Let me tell you about the time I committed mutiny.
I would listen with rapt attention, okay? Yeah, or how about I flew inside Starkiller Base and destroyed it?
I think he'd be like the jock bragging too much about his sports
successes. No. Look at how tender he is. Look at how tender Poe Dameron is when he sees that Finn is alive and wearing his jacket.
That's just a nice bro moment, but not a date.
That's like a cool friend moment.
It's a smolder moment. Oscar Isaac only has two settings when dealing with people: smolder and smolder more.
Yeah. So you take that, the smolder of the bro, the genuine tender affection, and now you're on a date with this guy.
And he's smoldering at everyone else you meet.
Just that smolder has been cranked up to like 12. So after dinner,
that one was mine. Thank you very much.
We'd go on a walk somewhere, like through some gardens maybe, or like on like a veranda or like some walkway somewhere nice, And it's all starry and there's like a little breeze and like hold hands or something. I don't know. I would definitely pretend to be cold so that he'd put his jacket around me because I'm going home with that jacket. All right. And then
he doesn't have a jacket anymore.
He gave it to him.
Well, he's got a new one, I'm sure.
On some other guy.
I don't even care. I'll be his side piece. I don't care. And we'd talk for a while, and we'd kind of stop somewhere and. And then
Russ, you just need to cut right there and pretend that.
I was gonna say, I think they're getting close.
Fade to black.
No, I might even just cut up this whole section just to make it look like it. But we'll see what happens in the end.
And then I'm just saying, if he leaned in for a kiss, I don't think I'd stop him. If Poe Dameron wants to go to second base on our first date, I would probably, I'd probably throw the ball a little slowly. I'm just saying, wouldn't strike out. So there's
be
my
honest
date.
here, he wouldn't strike out on any base.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, Christina. I can see why you wanted to go last.
That was so well planned. I hope you put in even half the effort of that into a date with you. Wow.
You should have seen us when we're dating.
We had too many kids to go on dates now. I went with Ezra Bridger.
Oh,
Well, because he's got, his force ability is basically speak with animals, right? Mm-hmm. So we would go someplace with some exotic animals, and he'd do his little, "Hey guys, don't kill us."
Yeah, come be friendly.
And then I'd get to interact with some exotic animals
that would be
I otherwise would not be able to.
That's a good idea.
Yes, and then after we'd go somewhere, because Lothal is a beautiful planet. We'd go somewhere really scenic where he's got a nice picnic set up. And then we'd watch the stars.
And ride cow ticks. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my first date.
Okay, I picked the version of this person would be from episodes 2 and 3. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ian McGregor.
Maybe.
But I don't like Ian McGregor as Padawan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go on first date with him. And I feel like if he were out of the Jedi Order, he'd be a very classy first date. He would pick somewhere for us to go, which I imagine would be something like the opera house that Anakin and Sidious are talking with.
Oh, when they're in the water bubble.
Yeah. So he's gonna take you to the opera, the space opera.
I looked up what that was because I was really curious. So I'd be going to the Galaxy's Opera House watching a performance of Squid Lake is the name of their...
Yes, it is.
Of course it is, George.
Mon Calamari troupe of acrobatic performers is what it is, apparently.
Okay.
So I would be watching that with my...
That's classic.
I'd watch
my
that.
first date. My best first date, which was your soulmate, so...
Yeah.
It was actually episode 2 and 3, Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, as my soulmate.
Okay.
Yes, so
Good
I
choice.
totally get that.
Yeah. I think all of those dates I would totally go on. That sounds awesome. So that is the end of this episode. We hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as we had recording it. So as usual, listeners, be sure to tune in again next week and listen to us. Go follow us on Twitter @MoreCivilized and continue the good discussion that is growing there with everybody. We appreciate all of your comments and feedback. Let us know who you would have in these categories. I'm going to actually put forth effort during the weeks before this airs, and I'm going to put out this list for all of you to fill out so that you can tell us who you would put in all your categories. And definitely, people, if you do this, you have to tell me who your first date is and what you guys would do. That's the question I want to know the most. And then join our Facebook group, A More Civilized Podcast. There's some good, ridiculous memes going on right now in there. So
yeah, that was going to be my shout out. Was Steven and Lindsay have been doing a great job at keeping us well stocked with memes.
Well, John had another good one as well.
Too.
John Smith, he posted a good one that had me going.
Yes, you can speak with me at Mr_R* on Twitter.
Yep. Please hop on Twitter and Facebook. Let us know what you'd like to hear more of, what you'd like to hear less of, what you really want from our podcast, so that we can pander to you. And please hop on there and compliment our wives and tell us how great they were in this episode. And in the meantime,
may the force be with you.
Always. I'm Anna Graves, and thank you for listening to A More Civilized Podcast.
Kyler jokes. Anyway.
Hey, they're good, all right? I've gotten positive feedback on them like twice, okay? They're never stopping.
Which they should.
Yeah.
To write all mine down, I took his list and just deleted all of them. So I purposefully was like, I'm not doing that because that's what he said.
Oh, there you go. We still have several matches. There you go.
And Tyler purposefully made sure that we never saw each other's lists.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, shit, I don't want to hear it.
See, and in our case, I had to sit next to her so she could be like, I don't even know. Who are they? Like, she's Googling Star Wars men. It's like, who is this? Is this a person in Star Wars? No, it's not.
Yeah, my search history is a little odd now.
Mine is as well.
There's a lot of, like, Oscar Isaac eyes, you know, like... Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn's smile,
did
you know.
Old Star Wars guys, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not helpful.